Please don't take that away from me.
I have like 3 points on avoiding the recession, and I'm taking it away from you and saying nothing else.
I can laugh at the I can laugh at the Brits now. I can laugh at the Japanese.
Well, okay.
And not have...
To be fair, the Brits are just doing awful. Like it is terrible over there.
Wait, is Japan in a recession now?
Yep, Japan's in a recession now.
Wow, them and Britain are so similar in so many weird ways.
How?
Ways?
Yeah, what?
All right, hear me out. Okay, first of all, the obvious: systemic, unaddressed pedophilia issues. Right.
Okay,
that's number
one. Does Japan have pedophilia issues? I don't know enough about Japanese culture.
Yes, they do. They do. Number 2, historically, island nations that were great powers due to naval power as opposed to land power, thalassocracies rather than telulocracies, right?
I love the fact that you start off with obviously as a pedophile thing, and then went to, oh yeah, they're also island nations.
Right, so they're island nations.
We were following the Epstein case pretty closely, you know? It was... Like, it's one of those things where you can't really look back anymore.
Both island nations with that ruled through sea power their respective areas, okay? Much larger mainland rival, France versus China, right? Okay, they got those 3 things. Now I'm kind of out of things.
Big monarchist and conservative monarchist.
Oh yeah, history of extreme monarchism tied to like religiosity, right? Yep. Anglican Church versus Shintoism. Then they got always
washed
economically, completely washed, just completely fucked.
Yeah, a core
economically in free fall.
A core of their food staple is fish, but Japan has like sushi and a bunch of nice stuff, and in Britain it's just fish and chips.
Hey, and stargazy pie. Don't forget stargazy pie.
I will.
Wait, actually, once I show you a picture of it, you won't forget it.
Do you not remember Stargazy Pie?
No.
Oh, Stargazy Pie is incredible.
Stargazy Pie? It's like a fish pie, but the fish are like poking out the top.
Oh!
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, why is Britain just Japan but worse?
It's because they fell off, like, earlier, I think.
Yeah.
I think also it's because Japan has that, you know, that Kino imagination.
Yeah, I think you've invented a Japan in your head that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's another part of it.
Well, I'm talking like the whole internet does that, where it's like, you know the meme of 2 of the exact same picture. In the top one, it's everyone angry, like, place China. And the second same picture, everyone loves it, and it's just place Japan.
Yeah, it's place Britain versus place Japan. That's what it is. They're the same place, but they're like mirror images, opposite sides of Eurasia.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you think about it, J-pop is just the Beatles, like 80 years late, right? Like the British invasion.
You're right.
And they both killed millions of people in Asia at the exact same time, too.
I'm convinced Britain is just Japan.
Britain and Japan are the same country. That's our official take. And the island of... Actually, they got away... Actually, is the island of Japan Korea, or is it Hokkaido with the Ainu people?
Oh. I'd say Korea, because they got independent, but they had like a whole thing of colonizing them. And it's not under their control anymore, but they still have like a weird relationship with them, you know?
Yeah, so I guess the Ainu are like Cornwall or Wales or something.
Yeah. I guess, what's the Scottish part of Japan? What's part vying for independence?
I don't know if there's any part of Japan vying for independence. Maybe like those islands south of them, Ryukyu or Okinawa or something.
Another similarity. A history of conflict with the U.S., which has become less complicated as they've become now vassals of the U.S.
Yeah, they're now both vassal states of the U.S. despite beefing hard.
Getting glassed in World War II.
Yep, getting absolutely bombed. The UK got flattened.
I think
it was like Blitz, Japan.
They pretty much
Japan got it a lot worse.
And then I think Germany stopped bombing them, and if they kept going for like another month, from what I understand is that the Brits weren't having fun.
The British were also under blockade the whole time, so they're like, and they imported 80% of their food, so they were like chronic food shortage mode.
As a Mini Cooper lover, great cars from both island nations.
True, Toyotas versus
Land
Rolls
Rover?
Royce.
Is Rolls Royce British? Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
I think Jaguar and Rolls Royce are British. I might be wrong about that.
I remember back in the day on the Indian WhatsApp groups, everyone was very excited when Tata bought Land Rover.
Yeah, Jaguar Land Rover is from, they're the same company.
Yeah.
And it's from Coventry.
But it's owned by Tata now, which has made all the Indian nationals very proud.
Both tried to invade India, although Britain succeeded. That's another similarity.
Okay, yeah, I'm convinced. I'm convinced. The samurai were just British knights who got lost. I get it.
Wow. Them and Britain are so similar in so many weird ways.
Alright, well, we should probably get
where were we?
started again. So let's get to our first news story of the day. So Canada has avoided recession, everybody. But do note that this is not... The fact that we've dodged a recession is not driven by increased consumption. Don't worry, guys. Your lives are not getting any better. That pretty much is what that states. No one's life is getting better. We've just managed to dodge it. But I also kind of...
But it's not getting worse.
Yeah, it will get worse if things get bad.
Oh.
It will get
okay.
worse if we do hit a recession. Have no fear. In fact, I'd say it's worse that we're dodging a recession because the job market is ass, but whatever. I digress. But you ever notice how since we started this podcast, we're either in recession or like we're about to go into recession or we're just barely dodging it. That ain't nice. That ain't nice. I don't like that. I'm pretty skeptical about all of this. Like, there's a ton of wealth, just you don't have it. Inequality's going up, and things will get worse until inequality comes down.
That's kind of why I think even the conservatives are like, yeah, we can't reduce immigration. Because if, the economy doesn't grow by, continue to inch up at 0.1% a quarter, then it all will collapse.
Yeah. Immigration is unstoppable right now. It is, as a market solution for trying to squeeze labor just to get a little bit extra number out of it, it's impossible.
There's also a surefire way to grow the economy.
Yeah.
By doing nothing. Yeah.
Just have more people. If you increase the population by 1%, you might produce 0.1% more.
So right now, the UK is confirmed in a recession. Japan is in a recession.
As we stated at the start of the previous episode.
I'll fucking Photoshop that in here. Don't worry, we're good.
It is. I'm gonna just dox this a little bit. It is March 3rd, Sunday, March 3rd, 2024. Yeah. Japan has fallen. UK has fallen. So our sources have said that Germany is fallen or about to fall, but we survived, and that's great.
You know who else hasn't collapsed? China, who was supposed to collapse tomorrow, I guess.
Well, isn't China going through a bad time right now?
Fucking probably.
They're going through deflation, which is worse than recession, if I remember correctly.
It's really hard to figure out what the hell is going on in China at any given moment. That's why there's all those videos that are like, China will collapse in 30 seconds. Because it's China's kind of like a Rorschach test, where you can kind of just everyone sees a different situation looking at it.
Yeah. Well, one thing that people always fail to realize is that China's system does work fundamentally different from ours. They do have a very strong central authority, and because of that, they can just hammer down major changes pretty much instantly. So even when things are going pretty bad, China reacts differently than how our countries would react. So if what China is doing would mean an economic crisis in the States or something, where all the economists are always from, then it may or may not for them. Also, they might be able to stave it off for longer. It's all strange.
Oh damn! Japan's not even the third largest economy in the world. They're fourth now. They fell hard.
It's Jover.
Yeah, they're behind. Well, to be fair, they're behind Germany, and Germany's starting to fall. So.
Yeah, maybe they'll get it back if they don't fall.
Wait, German economy in free fall. Japanese economy in free fall.
Oh no. Wait, we've seen this before.
How's Italy doing? How's Italy doing? Can we get an Italy check?
Wait, no, Italy's got... What's the Italian leadership like right now? What are they thinking about? What wacky ideologies are they coming up with?
Great question.
Aren't they doing girl fascism right now?
Yeah, they're doing small bean fascism right now.
I'm sorry. What's that a reference to?
Don't worry, you'll never find it.
No, Meloni, the fascist, prime minister of Italy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big roots in the Italian, the neo-fascist movement in Italy. She got photographed recently with a phone case that had a bunch of kind of kitschy Instagram anxiety affirmations on it. They're like, "You are beautiful, you are strong, you are powerful."
Oh, that's kind of cute.
This is awesome.
So they're doing small bean fascism over there.
Yeah, zipping back to Canada, the Liberals are kind of doing their thing. They're doing their Mark Carney stuff, and it gets as good as you're going to get for, liberalism and all of that. The Conservatives are saying the Liberals are doing the bad thing and offering their counter-arguments, and it's literally word for word what the Liberals say they're doing. Nobody reads it, so no one knows it.
Germany in free fall. Japan in free fall. Italian's got a fascist in charge. Canada has a long reigning liberal prime minister who's part of a political dynasty. I think the 30s are back.
Was there some kind of pandemic in the late 2010s, early 20s?
Not that I remember. Holy moly! History doesn't rhyme, guys. It just repeats word for word.
History is back. Fukuyama, I'm sorry, brother. It's over. You're canceled.
Fukuyama, no, he said history ended, and we're kind of proving it. They're literally remaking the scripts as live action from the book.
This time with AI and superhumans, potentially.
Yeah, we're doing an AI rendered version of the current, and since all it knows what to do is learn from the past, it figured the 30s are coming up and was like, "Hey, I've seen this before. Let's do it."
I do want to talk.
In 1922, Russia invaded Poland and failed. So we've got a Russia invades its neighbor and fucks up arc as well.
Yeah, someone look into this. Guys, is this true? Is this real?
I do want to have a full episode into immigration sometime and what it means, what it is meaning. Because right now, for the very first time in my life, which is not that long of a life, but still a life, it seems like the immigration consensus is breaking down in Canada. But instead of going into the episode for now, what you guys were saying before was absolutely right on the money, right? Our productivity has fallen, our GDP per capita has fallen, but the GDP number keeps going up, and we can keep avoiding that scary, scary R word of a recession. Only because of the fact that we bring
R word of recession.
Yes, only because we bring in people with outside money to keep the economy going up.
Yeah.
And it's not only for that reason, there's other reasons. The big one is the OAR, the old age ratio, where, when the boomers were booming, the old age ratio was around 7 workers to 1 old person.
Yeah.
And partially this was because the high number of boomers, also partially because there's not a lot of old people left when you kill them off in a war.
Yeah.
But now we're getting closer and closer to 3 to 1, and that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Where
I think we need another war.
Well, no, but as we just discussed, it looks like that might be in the cards.
I'm feeling lucky.
No, but they're retiring, right? The old people are still going to be there. Only 3 to 1 will go down if there's a war, because it's people like you and I are going to be fighting.
Yeah. Well, we know how to do war now. You want the technically skilled people farther back because they're technically skilled and you can drone pilot shit. The old people who aren't working, you need a meat shield,
The front lines.
they go straight to the front lines. Give them a fucking musket that hardly works and just tell them to start walking. World War I style.
So GDP goes up.
The GDP is going up, driven by car sales and exports. Now, what about exporting already sold cars, guys? I'm thinking our economy is floating on car theft right now. That's what's keeping it all together.
Now, what's the growth this quarter? Trey, do you know?
I don't know.
What was the growth actually? It was 1% or something, just over 1. Let me look.
I thought it was less than that.
Because I know NAFTA bumped Canada's annual GDP growth by like 0.3, spread out over all 4 quarters. So I don't know if that like tilts the scales.
GDP is expected to go by 0.5% by the end of this quarter.
We saved Bikini Bottom.
Where was this? It rose by 0.4%. Guys,
there you go.
We're so back. I read about this from the Financial Post, and that shit actually lagged my computer. I thought my computer was fucking up, went to other websites, and it was fine. I have a good computer, and the Financial Post managed to, like, make my whole machine stutter.
Well, the government is trying to get around the car sales thing, so they're actually threatening the economy by getting rid of the car theft, right?
It is actually
address it now.
It is funny what you said before, Uncle, because I'm looking at some of the economic reports, and they show that the GDP actually shrunk last quarter, but then, 2 quarters ago, but then went up last quarter by 0.4%. Yeah. So and a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of decreasing economic growth.
Yeah.
So it's always, for the last year, it looks like we've been increasing one and decrease one and barely increase the third and decrease the fourth.
Yeah,
so we've been dodging recession.
A recession, just the number won't quite get beaten down on paper.
And we feel that, right? We see people are losing their jobs like crazy. There's been huge amounts of layoffs across the industry, or people are having a hard time finding a job.
Yeah.
Prices are going up. People's pricing parity and purchasing power has gone down.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like more and more people are saving or are going into credit card debt, which Canada, by the way, is one of the highest in the world.
Yeah, I think I was looking at it like most people at this point are in credit card debt. It is what it is. It's getting worse. Anyone notice it's getting a little crazier out there? Oh, but yeah, it's as Bennett's always said, like the vibe of the economy has been consistently shit for a long time for most people.
And the economy is all vibes based now.
Yeah, and the vibe of the economy, like ask around, ask how people are feeling about their future and how things are going. I don't know anyone that's really feeling great about it. Like, there are some people who are like, oh, I'm good because I've got a good job and, like, I'm doing okay. But even they're not like, oh, yeah, the economy's great. Even they're just like, oh, yeah, I'm doing pretty good for myself right now.
Like, the amount of people who say that they'll never own a house is terrifying to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the people our age who are saying that that's it. Like, that doomerism is scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was showing a friend of mine, housing in Sudbury where I'm moving, and he was so excited because, like, straight, it's the first time I ever thought I could own a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting crazy out there.
Like, they just got to move to Okotoks, Alberta, all right? They gotta figure that out. But yeah, I really enjoyed the kind of news cycle around all the car theft stuff, because naturally it made everyone like an expert on car theft for 2 days. And whenever that type of thing happens, it's just great because it makes me feel like a car theft expert for 2 days. And everywhere trending was just videos of people smashing windows and things. It really kind of blew it up. But the all-time peak was, I was listening to the news, it was just in someone else's car. And there was a guy talking about how his car had gotten stolen, and his insurance company was rising their rates, and it's bad. And they're like, oh, can you tell us the story? And this guy goes in on air while trying not to get his insurance rate raised and says, oh yeah, I was going to a coffee shop and I left my car running with my keys in the car to run in and grab my coffee, and then when I came back out, my car got stolen. And I was like, buddy, don't admit that. Just shut up, please. Stop snitching on yourself. You deserve an insurance hike, all right? Like, and I hate the insurance companies, but you deserve this one, man. Like, this is on you.
I have a plan. to cut car theft to zero. Okay, all right. Bring back actual car keys. Because it seems like the driving force behind these car thefts is these fucking key fobs.
Yeah.
For cars.
But aren't there like devices you can like buy to like get into those kind of cars?
Well, the Flipper Zero they're banning, but you could you literally can rig up like your own like capturing thing for the key fob with like metal coat hangers, right? Like,
we do not condone you should do this, by the way. We're not saying you should do this.
Yeah. I'll see if I can
we're just
post
saying
a
you
tutorial.
could.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but you want to explain the Flipper Zero?
So the Flipper Zero is like a device that hackers use, basically. That's all you need to know, really. But it allegedly it can clone these fob keys, and I'm not saying you should go out and buy a Flipper Zero and clone a fob key and steal a car, but you could do it. That's what I'm saying. It is illegal to steal a car, but it is not yet illegal to buy a Flipper Zero.
But they're banning it, right?
Yeah, they're getting rid of them, and I think they're going by like gun law precedent, where they just ban it by name. So I guess like if you renamed it, it would be okay.
The Flipper 1 reaches new record sales.
But yeah, these key fobs, they're so insanely insecure. Why do we need these things? What happened is a good old-fashioned key that you stick in the steering column.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it was like, oh, dude, there's such this like advancement of this technology. And how much did it save? It's like, oh, you don't have to poke the key over there anymore. Instead, you have to push a button in the same place. Like, it really changed nothing.
Even if say like, okay, even say like that's an annoyance. There might be reasons why that's an annoyance. Maybe you have a preference for buttons. You can still have a key to get in the car, right? Like, you don't have to get rid of that part. Oh,
you mean like the new Teslas that just don't have a physical access point that you can get to?
Oh, that too. But I just meant like I don't know why it took away the key for the outside of the car.
No, people are constantly like running this war on like hardware, on the ability to use hardware for things. They have no clue what they're getting into, man. This shit is gonna make everything so much more expensive, and that's probably why they're doing it, but like, good lord, it gets rid of your ability to anything, and also makes it so much harder to fix anything, which I guess is in, again, Capital's interest. But yeah, one of my favorite, I already said my favorite part about this story, but there was another good bit where they were talking about people that had, like, Apple AirTags in their cars as a security system so they could find them if they got stolen. And they would go to the cops and be like, hey, I have an AirTag in my car, it's located right here. And the cops would be like, oh yeah, that's where the car theft guys go. That's where they drop the cars off. And they're like, sorry, can we get my car back? And the cops are like, I don't really feel like it.
Yeah, that was in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do at that point?
I always say when I'm watching, like, real crime shows, is none of this would have existed if being a cop in the 80s was a real job. Every single time they do something, it's like, oh yeah, there's constant screaming from my neighbor's house. He's bragged to me about abducting kids while drunk 16 times. I watched 2 kids, like, crawling across the lawn before my neighbor walked out and beat them over the head with a shovel. And the cops will go and be like, oh, I went and talked to the neighbor and he seems chill. So we're just going to kind of let him do his thing. And we let him off with, like, a warning so that if he sees anything, he'll let us know. But it turns out, man, the cops have still got it. They're still on the same hustle.
That's literally what happened with the I don't want to differ too much, but the serial killer in the gay village that was going through Toronto a couple years ago. Yeah. They caught him in like 2012. Yeah. And he just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, there was a mistake. You're misunderstanding it." And the cop's like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, we just go off with a warning." And then 6 years later, he was after his 10th body.
Lord, yeah.
So like that's been happening forever now.
Yeah.
It's on video, by the way. If you do want to see the original time they caught him on YouTube, you can see the entire interview where they're like, "Oh yeah, no, it's a mistake," and the cops like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's horrifying."
That's unreal. Being a cop, fake job. I think that's the takeaway from this. Also, you can get away with car theft. That's another takeaway, and the Flipper Zero is not illegal yet. So put those together however you feel like it. And yeah, I mean, car theft is the only thing keeping the economy afloat, so you'd just be doing us all a favor. Maybe we can can keep it back to negative 0.1 next quarter, so we get to dodge a recession again the one after.
In the United States, when it comes to car theft, only 20% of car thefts end in arrest or recovery of the car.
Yeah, run your numbers, guys. How smart are you? Look, I think we had that one episode where I wanted to make sure that we got the most laid audience of any podcast in history. After this episode going on, I want to make sure we have the highest rate of car theft of any podcast in history.
Well, I mean, with the more and more going back to the economy, with the way that things are exporting, and that's how we're rising demand.
Yeah.
How is that impacting like how pricing works with demand and things like that?
Who knows?
Who fucking knows, man? Supply and demand is like just a small part of price.
Aren't supply and demand becoming like a bigger deal in like food and everything like that?
Well, we should talk about that actually, right?
Oh yeah, supply and demand. Yeah. Oh, that's what he was doing. I missed that.
Yeah, they're trying to make supply and demand a real thing at Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's. I have like 3 bullet points for this, and the first one is, quote, "This shit is so fucking stupid, man." Wendy's is trying to add like surge pricing. Now surge pricing and all stuff like that, you'll see it in a bunch of places. Like Uber is a popular one where if there are less drivers or if there's a ton of people in one spot, it'll get more expensive, which kind of makes sense. But honestly, like, in my opinion, the real reason people use Uber and stuff like that is because it's generally cheap enough. And you can also see the price up front, where when you go into a regular taxi, you have to slowly watch the number grow. And it's just not fun. It's just a terrible experience, really. So, yeah, you'll also have things like airplanes, Airbnb, stuff like that I had grouped in. It kind of works because if you want to book something far enough out, people going on vacations, everyday people who need to like plan their stuff, the prices will be cheaper. But then when it comes to businesses that will have last second meetings and stuff like that, they're booking more last second, and that's when it's more expensive. So it ends up almost being like a progressive pricing structure just through that, which can also backfire sometimes. And yeah, there's a limited supply, that the demand, can fill up pretty quickly. Like, it's generally speaking, if flights were pretty cheap, like if food was dirt cheap, people would buy as much as they want to eat still. Yep. It would be done. If flights were dirt cheap, planes would all be full, and then you can't just easily expand that.
Then you get long lineups and things like that, and resource shortages.
Concerts are another one, which is like more popular bands and stuff will have higher pricing. Things sell out faster, it'll have higher pricing. But everyone knows that this is just horrible. You have a ton of botting, reselling, like price gouging and all of that. And there are options to avoid this. One of them that I saw was a band had a concert in fucking whatever city it was. And then it all got bought up by resellers. So what they did was they just had another of the same concert 2 nights later. And then when that one sold out, they had another one 2 or 3 nights later, so that there's less traveling when you're on the road. Everyone can get the concert. All the like scammers and resellers, you can't buy it because there will just be another concert with the cheaper ticket prices. Everyone gets to see their favorite singers or whatever. Everyone gets to see their favorite bands, and yeah. So yeah, the experience of the surge pricing in concerts is miserable. The last one is kind of power bills. Where you can kind of control the spikes and troughs a little bit to smooth them out by using some surge pricing, and people will plan a little bit around it. But also, as you privatize electricity, it's just going to be used to rip people off. So you win some, you lose some. But you'll notice for all of these that none of them are really connected to fast food, where you have fast-paced and consistent production that you just do as people want to buy something. Like, there's no extremely limited supply of things. If 2 people want a burger, you just fucking make 2 burgers. If 10 people do, you just make 10 burgers. That is what it is. You want to sell more burgers, you just make more burgers and fries. You're good.
Well, I was going to say it seems like the whole scheme relies on the fact that once you've ordered from the Wendy's and they tell you the price, you'll be too embarrassed to say no.
That's like a positive experience to have.
Yeah, that's what it seems to relies on. Like if you go to a Wendy's and I'm like, can I get like whatever they sell at Wendy's, the square burger, whatever it's called, right? Can I get the square burger and fries? And they're like, that'll be $45. Yeah. What do you do in that situation? I think that's what Wendy's is planning on.
So, okay, the original reason why we know about this was because on an earnings call, the CEO was talking about their new boards. They're upgrading all the boards and screens in the Wendy's, and those boards will it make it easier to show offers and new items and dynamic pricing. And those words, dynamic pricing, was conflated to be surge pricing. Now we don't know what he means, of course. I mean, it's not too hard of a leap, but we don't know for sure.
Luckily, we're not a real news podcast.
In this situation, you wouldn't be like, "Hey, how much is it?" You'll just look up at the board and be like, "Oh, I guess that's what the price
burger is $45. The part of the benefit of fast food is you go there and you know exactly what you're getting, and it's relatively cheap, and you can just go about your day. If you don't know how much you're going to get charged, you are never going to go to that fast food place again. You're eliminating the security of a fast food place. That wrecks it. It wrecks the experience.
Now, of course, I bet it does have a point that not all the items will be on the board, so there might be some other things hidden which will have dynamic pricing.
Yeah. But yeah, that seems like such a stupid idea. Dynamic pricing.
I have a feeling that it's just like when they need to change prices, it'll be easy. They won't have to like change shit out. It's just getting screens.
The official statement is to show offers easily.
Yeah. It's funnier this way. So this is the way that I.
But also, don't fast food restaurants already have this? I swear, every time
Wendy's,
I go to a Tim's,
I don't
I can't see
think
the
so.
fucking...
I think Wendy's is a little. Actually, I forget.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every time I go to a Tim Hortons, I can never see the fucking menu because it keeps doing this like slideshow of offers.
Yeah,
I thought they do that at McDonald's too.
Yeah. Whenever I go through a McDonald's, I was in a McDonald's drive-thru the other day, and there was like a line behind me, and I was looking for something because they got rid of what I was planning on buying. And they're just like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Just give me a second. I need to wait until it gets back around to the page." And then it got back around to the page, and I couldn't read it far enough to find the type of thing that I wanted. So I had to wait another cycle of ads and promotions and like 2 different menus to wait to get back to it. It was awful.
Yeah. Doesn't Wendy's already have this? Because Wendy's is like Tim Hortons, like the same, right? They're always like together and stuff. If Tim Hortons has these menus that don't show you the menu, I'm surprised Wendy's doesn't already have this, if that's the official statement.
Maybe I'll just have to go to a Wendy's. I don't know.
Uncle, only you can make fast food slow food, huh?
Oh my god, man. I eat fast food pretty frequently. I gotta say, I'm a Wendy's enjoyer. I like the square burger from like a reactionary standpoint.
It's the good old the way they used to do it. They don't make them like they used to.
It's just like oh my god, I've been hit by their social media marketing team. That's what happened. And I hate to say that the social media quirky ads worked for me, but it was a post of a guy like, "Why the fuck does Wendy's have these dumbass square patties? Like, can you please just make it like it's a normal frickin' burger?" And then the account followed up. I imagine it was probably the Wendy's fucking business account hiring their Zoomer that was like, yeah, circular patties picked from the tree. Or something like that. They're just like, no, a circle is not like an organic shape. You just shape your patties, and we have squares. I like the squares.
You like the squares? I'm not a Wendy's head, I gotta say. So I don't know what their menu looks like.
I go to Wendy's every now and then.
I feel like you should know if there's currently a video menu.
How do you feel as a Wendy's enjoyer about the potential of surge pricing?
Oh yeah, if this came in, I would never go there again. It would be really sad, actually. Because Wendy's is the place I go where it's like, I'm not looking for something healthy at all. I just want to eat a Baconator with a large fries. Like, I just want to ruin my day. You know, it's the death drive of fast food for me.
Well, all fast food sort of has a death drive element, I think. But when it comes down to it, like, surge pricing, this actually reminds me, in Toronto, Uber does surge pricing. Yep. You know that? Right? You know taxis in Toronto can't do surge pricing? It's, like, banned.
Yeah.
So, if you're ever, like, downtown and there's, like, a Jays game, just call a taxi.
Yeah.
Don't hire an Uber. Also, just call a taxi in general. Don't stop hiring Uber.
I think the taxis are mostly worker co-ops in Toronto too, right?
I've had enough of the fucking Ubers. Okay, call a taxi.
It's just the apprehension, not knowing how much you're gonna pay, which gets me.
Yeah. That's for That's for me too. Like, I'm sure I could figure it out and generally know around how much a taxi's gonna pay, but just having that freaking machine in the center console that just slowly increases the price. And I sit there at a light, and it like you're just watching it increment twice by the time the light changes, and you're like, man, I didn't even fucking move. You know, like I got nowhere, and the price is going up. They need to change that, I think.
Well, nowadays on the taxi, if you just spy on the guy's iPad, it tells you the estimated fare. Yeah. So you can see if you can spy that out. The thing is, like, we're talking about the vibes being off on the economy earlier. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Surge pricing at Wendy's plus financing at Domino's Pizza are like the two things recently that are like Weimar Germany here.
I'm sorry, what?
You don't know about the financing at Domino's Pizza thing?
No.
You can buy a Domino's Pizza and pay it out over like months.
What? What?
Yeah.
You can do a finance. You can take out a line of credit from Domino's to buy a pizza.
What? Is that a thing?
Yes, it is. Look up. I think it's either Domino's or Pizza. Look up Domino's line of credit.
Anyone with a student loan can apply for an emergency pizza and get a code for free medium pizzas. Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's like an installment plan for paying for pizzas.
Yeah,
oh my god.
It's like when you're at a checkout place and they're like, use X service and pay it over 6 months. Yeah. It's just one of those. One thing that I think is just extremely clear from this is that fast food is supposed to sell without a ton of profit per item, but they're supposed to sell in volume. That's the general idea of it. So if the margins are that thin, it's very clear that surge pricing is never going to make things cheaper. It will only increase the price.
Oh, yeah, it's better for the companies, yeah.
If you make it any cheaper, you'll just be losing money, you know?
This is a PR disaster for Wendy's, whether it is true or not.
Yeah. So yeah, if the whole point of fast food is to sell food fast, why are you trying to increase the prices to slow down the rate of selling food? It seems all wrong. The vibes on this idea are just completely awful.
And when we're talking about fast food, get rid of the fucking deals slideshow on the video menus, people.
Yeah, please.
What is going on?
I don't want to see like a 10-second ad for your new item. I want the exact same item that I got last time and the 50 times before that.
I'm at Timmy's, not Dorsia. I don't need to know what the soup of the day is. Okay, just show me the menu board.
But you technically remember what you want to order if that's the case, right?
I guess so.
So the video, the only reason why I'm able to go to these fast food restaurants now is because I already know what I want. If I were like a new customer and I wandered in and I had to spend 30 seconds staring at the menu board waiting for the slideshow showing me the new milkshake to end, I'd just leave.
Well, here's the thing. We've talked on this show before about the crispy barbecue chicken wrap at Timmy's. And I went to Timmy's and I said, hey, can I get the crispy barbecue chicken wrap last weekend? You want to know what they said? We don't have that. I look at the menu. Guess what's on it? It's not the fucking menu.
Yeah, here's another thing about Tim's, okay? Well, we're talking about fast food, right? I'm sick of the just-in-time production at Tim's, right? I know it's fast food. There's sort of an element of it gets made right away. But Tim Hortons, too many menu items, okay? Yeah. Every time I go to Tim Hortons, they're out of some shit, okay? Yeah. Can I get this cilantro lime chicken wrap? We're out of rice. It's noon. How are you out of rice? You only start selling this at 11 a.m.
Yeah, also, it's fucking rice. I had a Tim's out of rice, too, and I'm like, guys, this seems like an easy remedy, you know? Like, it's...
And the reason why Tim's is always out of shit is because they've got, like, 1,000 menu items. Yeah. So, it's just, there's too many things those guys got to have on hand.
No, I disagree with the back to basics Tim heads. You know, the people are like, oh, we need to go back and have like coffee, donuts, and bagels, and that's it.
That's not what I'm saying. Okay. What I'm saying is fewer items, not no items. Okay. Like I like the cilantro lime chicken wrap. That was a dub.
Good,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the farmer's wrap. That's a dub, right? But they need to focus. Okay. They're always adding new shit.
Yeah.
Stop.
But the experiments are what makes it good, isn't it? The experimental.
I'm at the point in my life where I feel like Tim's could stop experimenting, right? That's what I'm saying. All right. If if they just had cilantro lime chicken wrap from now until I was 80 years old, I'd be a happy man.
Yeah. Well, they got rid of my favorite, so good fucking luck, soldier.
That's like a milestone, eh? When you get your final Tim Hortons order, that's it.
Yeah.
Like this is like I eat for years now.
Well, the thing is, because they're always throwing new shit into the storage at Tim Hortons, I have to have like backups because I'll be like, oh, we're out of rice. I'm like, okay, can I get a sausage farmer's wrap? Oh, we're out of hash browns. It's like, how are you out of hash browns? This is a breakfast restaurant.
Yeah. And the Tim's hash browns are brutal too. Like the McDonald's hash browns, crispy, fluffy, they kind of go crazy. The Tim's hash browns, it's like compressed cardboard on the outside, and I'm not convinced that there's anything on the inside.
Yeah, the Tim's hash browns aren't even good. But here's the other thing, all right? One time I went to the Tim's here in I'm not going to dox myself, but near where I live. I went there, there's like, can I get a cilantro lime chicken wrap? It's like noon. They're like, no, we're out of rice. I'm like, can I get a farmer's wrap? They're like, we're out of hash browns, but we could put potato wedges in the wrap for you if you want.
That's probably better.
It was okay. Mm-hmm. I did go for that option though, but it is crazy how Tim Hortons, I swear, they must calculate exactly how much they need on an average day. So if it's on a day that's above average demand, they just instantly run out.
I'm sorry, is that like a part of the secret menu thing? Can I get a farmer's wrap with potato wedges instead of hash browns?
You might be able to ask for it.
I think it's because they had already said no to my first order. They were just like, we'll just improvise for your second, whatever you want in backup. I don't think you can go and ask for this, but if you order something else first and they don't have it, and then you order sausage farmer's wrap and they're out of hash browns, maybe they'll do it for you.
Have you guys heard of like the Tim Hortons secret menu? Like, people kept telling me that, we can get those. Apparently, a French vanilla plus hot chocolate half and half is like really, really good and things like that.
Just like freestyling breakfast drinks.
Listen, I'm not trying to stress out the person at the counter. Right? I want the Tim Hortons transaction to go as smoothly as possible for me and them. I'm not going to be like, can I get like 2 menu items, but you put them in the same cup and you're giving me half of each? I don't think they're going to like that. That's the way to get.
There's also if I'm at a fast food place, it's because I'm very specifically trying not to do something, which is make actual food. So I don't want to go there and then start doing the most,
start spitting recipes at the person behind the counter.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah,
I'm on the record. I'm anti-secret menu. If you go to a fast food restaurant and you're ordering off the secret menu, you need to kill yourself, man. What the?
Yeah. Well, my last point here, before we get into other types of pricing scandals, everyone's like rightfully hating on them for greed. Who are we even talking about again? Wendy's.
Wendy's. Yeah.
Everyone's rightfully hating on Wendy's for greed. And all I have is my last point is if you're a liberal or conservative and you're complaining about a company being greedy, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, speaking of companies being greedy, Hewlett Packard, the company that makes really shitty laptops and decent printers, has decided to change up their printer pricing model and transition.
Yeah, HP. I don't think it was like Hewlett Packard.
Sorry, I forgot to say Hewlett Packard (parentheses HP). Is transitioning away from owning a printer to you will not own a printer and you will be happy. Basically what you will do now is you'll go to wherever they sell HP printers and you will buy a subscription that is at least $7 a month for their shittiest printer and 20 printed pages. 20 per month. That's their cheapest plan.
What the fuck?
Or their priciest plan is $36 a month, which is like the best printer they've got and 700 printed pages.
700?
As part of this plan, you get free ink deliveries. So they just give you the ink and the printer. But at the end of the subscription, you have to return both of those things. I mean, you don't have to return the ink if you used it, but you have to return the printer. Now, here's the thing, all right? Let's say you decide, right now this isn't ubiquitous. You can choose this or buying the printer. if you choose this subscription plan and you cancel your subscription before 2 years, you have to pay $270 plus tax to buy your way out of it.
So you just buy the whole fucking printer.
Yeah, but you won't have that option for long, as HP has said they are transitioning to the subscription model only over the next couple of years.
Yeah. No, they're gone. They're dead. That's it.
Who is this targeted to? Is this targeted to businesses or something?
Well, it's both. They said it's for both businesses and regular people because as part of the subscription, they also give you text support. So they're hoping that people will want the simplified printing service of free ink plus text support. Plus, you can change in the printer or whatever. And the price is that you don't get to own your own printer. Also, unless the printer is connected to the internet, you can't use it. There's some sort of authentication process that requires always online printing.
$36 a month. You get 7,000 pages.
700 pages.
700. That's nothing. First of all, that's not a lot of pages. But anyways, just print out a ton of black sheets of paper, completely black, or no, do all the colors, because that shit's a little more expensive. Maybe they have this factored in, but if they're going on a good faith argument, you could probably put them in negative cash flow pretty reliably from this.
Yeah, ink's expensive. This is kind of surprising because I know the historical trend is that printers themselves are not too expensive, and then they get you on the ink.
Yeah, and that's probably why they're doing the subscription model, is to make it so that the software can easily completely block all third-party ink things. They do a reasonable job at it, but you can still get around it pretty easily. But if it's a rented printer, you will not be able to.
Also, you already know that the tech support is coming for free because they're going to make the printers harder to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Have access to anything.
Yeah.
I like that they announced this in a blog post on their website that they're doing this. And the title of the blog post is "Never Own a Printer Again."
Wait, really?
They're laughing at us. They're rubbing it in us.
Never own a printer again with the HP all-in plan. That's horrible.
This might be the first case in a while or actually maybe the first case ever of them actually trying to turn a real commodity, not land or software, into a rental service, into a rented monopoly.
Well, no, you can do that with furniture and Tux rentals are a common thing, right? They're forever.
That's true, yeah.
But
Tux rentals is a temporary thing, right?
Or car rentals.
Yeah, car rentals. I suppose. I retract my statement then.
But
this is still pretty
insane.
fucking stupid.
Yeah. You're taking a tool and making it a rental. I hate this. Everything is going to be a rental. Everything.
I guess tool rentals is
You're going to have to rent your house. And when you do your furniture, what they're going to do is say, you can dynamically change out your furniture whenever you want to change the vibe of your room. The only thing is you're always going to be renting out your furniture.
Oh, so I showed you that, right?
You're gonna
that company which
you're gonna be renting out your furniture per room, and that's how you're gonna get it. You're gonna have to rent out your printer. Your computer is going to be on a rental service too, like Apple has already done. Your car is not only going to be a rented car, but also you're going to have all the sub rentals for the ability to move your seat and stuff like that, and access your seat heater and things. That's all going to be rentals. I hate that all the conservatives are like, oh, dude, all the leftists are like, you will own nothing and be happy. Mate, you guys are doing this right now. We will own nothing very soon.
So how does it work, though? Say you break the product 5 years into your...
Yeah, you're going to have to buy it out if you break it. That's just going to happen. Or if it's already been 5 years, maybe not. They'll probably have some policy there. But if you're... if it's
it says next business day replacement.
You're going to have to buy it out.
No, next business day replacement at no additional cost. So they just give you a new one.
So we'll break a printer every few years.
Okay, so we get a printer, print 700 cyan pages, smash the printer.
Just max out the subscription service.
I think this is a good idea, guys. It cost me $36 a month to cost HP several hundred. All right.
Hey, we can make this into a business. We can live stream us doing this.
Yeah, we'll do.
You know what could actually? You know what would be an upside of all this stuff is if life got so shitty, everything's rented, right? You got a shitty printer, It prints out 20 pages a month. You're paying 100 Trudeau dollars.
Yeah, true dollars
per month for these 20 pages. So you go outside, you got a Tesla, drives around, and then like explodes, right? And, right, and you're in it.
You haven't paid
like,
a subscription for the handles yet.
It explodes or whatever. The fire trucks arrive, they pull you out. You have to pay. You have to tip the fireman, right?
Yeah. You try to pay one of the fire truck drivers, but they're already at a fist fight with the other fire truck that showed up to see who can get it.
Yeah. Anyways, what I'm saying is, I think the time is right for the return of noir as a genre.
I think you're onto something here.
I feel like this is kind of it's very gritty, it's very shitty. It's kind of got that 30s, the economy sucks vibe. I think
30s vibe.
I think we're in for the return of noir as like.
Was there like a once in a lifetime kind of pandemic just before right now? Just like there was before noir?
I'll copy everything we said in the last episode, and I'll just insert it right here again and pretend like we're saying it for the first time.
Okay. Anyways, that's printing as a service. The future of printing. You will print nothing, and you will be happy.
I do find it crazy that they've literally opened up the printer smashing loophole. That is unreal.
It's praxis. We have to do it.
It would not make sense to not do printer smashing for a month.
Okay, here's the thing though. What if you like are at you're at page 20. You've done all 20 pages. Are they gonna like extort you if you need to print a 21st page? Like what happens?
It would just jam.
Well, since it's a rental, you probably won't have any access to any of the software stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the parts will be individually, like kind of like Apple's batteries, where they have something ingrained in the battery that means you can't replace it. All the hardware will be like that. All the software will be like that.
You're thinking too far.
Just stop and say you need to pay more.
It has to connect to the internet. That was the first thing you said, right, Bennett?
Yeah, it has to connect to the internet.
So that means they have a counter going, which will just freeze it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
I keep looking over at this page. It says "never own a printer again." It's on the nose, isn't it? They have to know.
Did someone at HP do market research and find out that people hate owning printers? What is
Yeah.
Well, they see all the complaints like, "Oh, it's so hard to use a printer. I don't know how to use my printer." Like, we got you.
Yeah.
What if we made it easy?
What if we made it way harder to use a printer?
Yeah. Well, what? Hi. Everyone knows. Everyone hates that you will own nothing and be happy. This is like it has to be inspired by "you will own nothing and be happy," and they saw that and were like, "Everyone's talking about this. They must love it."
Can you give a quick refresher to those who don't know the "you will own nothing and be happy"?
"You will own nothing and you will be happy" is from an essay a Danish social democrat wrote. That was like a parody or critique or like a dystopian fiction about the future of everything being as a service, right? And then the WEF, the World Economic Forum, picked up this essay and republished it and made a video that was not like, "Oh, wouldn't this be crazy? This sucks." They made a video that's like a trailer for the concept. And then like everyone got so mad at them. It's like, "Oh, they're conspiring to take everything away from us. They want us to own nothing and be happy." Yeah, so there was a huge controversy, right? It like spawned whole entire conspiracy theories and ruined that poor Danish woman's life because she got accused of endorsing the idea and coming up with it.
And now someone at HP saw that video and was like, "Wow." Yeah.
Because there's no fucking way that this made it through the entire process without every single person going, "Guys, this sounds horrible." Like even if people wanted to rent printers instead, like you say, "Oh, more simple printing," or like creating a more like streamlined printing experience or something like that. This literally sounds like they are robbing you.
Well, here it is, right? The HP All-In Plan is an all-inclusive, flexible, and convenient service providing everything you need to print in one place. It gives busy families and small businesses what they need to get on with their day instead of wasting time managing their tech.
Yeah, the other thing is it says flexible. It's not flexible. You have to pay $270 to cancel the service.
Yeah, it's flexible in the way that you can no longer do anything you want, which is one option. You can now do 5 different options that are different subscriptions.
The thing is, the fact that they're transitioning to this only means that they know people don't want this. Otherwise, they would offer as an option alongside owning the printer.
No, here, the people have spoken, and we listened. Our customers have told us this is exactly what they're looking for.
What people? What people have spoken?
Here, this is the best part. This is the best part. In our pilot program testing out these features, over a third of participating customers chose the monthly plan. Doesn't that mean that 60% didn't?
Yes. Over 2/3 said no.
So then why? I mean, their own blog.
And it was probably by accident for half of that.
Like, that reminds me of that infamous thing that was like almost 1 in 4 women are almost 1 in 4 homeless people are women. That's like that version of for print.
Yeah, like I just sent this screenshot. I'm just reading directly from the blog that they said that doesn't work and no one likes it.
But also, anything that's always online just doesn't work. Like, it always sucks. And this is like just something that's supposed to just connect your computer.
Yeah, I love this. With the all-in plan, HP offers our customers even more choices. Before, you could pick whatever printer you wanted, and you could do anything with it. This is literally less choices. Fuck, I need water again.
Okay, why don't we wrap up the episode? We've been going now for like 2. We've been going for like 2 hours.
You have another one?
Thing of technology that no one wants. Waterloo has been in the news.
Oh yeah,
because their vending machines have been using facial recognition technology on everyone that walks by. 29 vending machines were found to be using facial recording technology. There was an error on one of them that just said the facial recognition service is not working, and someone saw it and was just like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? There's no cameras in here, are there? So yeah, it's used to gain consumer statistics. My reply to this was, please stop. Invenda, the company, says the machines use facial analysis, not facial recognition software, so it isn't storing data or photos. But then later it says investigators took issue with how the images were stored, and also the fact, so they were being stored, clearly. Like, the investigators found they were being stored, and said that the company did not obtain meaningful consent from the customers. So that was a fucking lie. The machines can, open quote, only determine if an anonymous individual's facing the device, for what duration, and it approximates basic demographic attributes like age and sex. One of their advocates says will help retailers decide what products are likely to sell. I have another way to find out what products are selling and what products aren't for a vending machine. And it's looking at what products are selling and what products aren't.
Yeah, I guess the idea is that they're trying to like predict it, right? So okay, if I put a vending machine in an all-girls school in downtown, I don't know, Sarnia, okay, based off of that, I'll know, based off previous data, I know that they will get these things, I assume, right? Yeah. Like, that's what the goal is.
But again, like you said, they're putting it on a university campus, right? They know the exact demographics walking by this thing every day.
Yeah, but it might be used for, okay, I don't want to defend this guy, I feel horrible, but for devil's advocate purposes, it might be for other vending machines elsewhere.
Yeah. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying.
I mean, it's still like, why? Like, how much of it is going to make a difference? This is just the
attention economy. They're probably just like, I don't know. It's probably tracking how people's eyes move through the vending machine and shit.
There's no way this generates more money than not installing a facial recognition system would save. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit has to, at a minimum, be more like, vending machines aren't bringing in the cash. You know, it's like you'll make a bit of money if you do it en masse, but like, you know, you don't really need demographic shit. You just kind of figure out what is popular and you just chuck it in there and then it'll sell if it's popular. Yeah, you don't need to figure out what people of certain ages and like genders are buying. in that place. You just check what's selling in that place and then look up its demographics. Because even if you get the demographics, you now have to find out what those people of those demographics buy. This is just doing research before you put it somewhere. I don't know, this solves nothing.
The company that is behind it is hiring a technical consultant right now. Supposedly to fix the bug which leaked all this. So if you're interested, they are hiring.
Yeah, I'll make sure it comes back in a month. I'll make it so there's just like an extra field that pops up. It won't even throw an error. I'll just make sure the pop-up happens again.
That's probably the worst way for people to find out, eh? Just a little bug saying, hey, the facial recognition is not working, please fix.
Yeah. I also love the vending machines are still there, but they've been promised that the facial recognition technology has been deactivated. But they never knew it was activated in the first place. It's probably just still running.
Well, someone taped over. I read the story of someone taped over where they think the camera is.
You can't even find it.
Yeah,
that's
no.
awesome, man. I think Bennett and Harrison were saying last time, I forget if it made the video or not, privacy is gone. They said it's not being used to track people or anything, but it can be very easily. Like if anyone was to put a little pressure, it would be used to track people. Or like find someone or something like that, be used to scout out what has happened in the area, or yada yada yada. Drives me insane how many cameras there are. Like, how easy is it to become a conspiracy theorist these days? So easy. They're like practically force feeding you content.
Yeah, you will print nothing and be happy.
You're just like, damn, I need a break from that HP printer weirdness. Let me go get my favorite chocolate bar from my vending machine.
I wonder if they have it at Queens. You'll take a look at some of these vending machines.
Almost certainly. They have it on the condom vending machine, and they just have the camera just like goes chink every single time someone buys a condom, and it's just gonna start publishing it on like Overheard. This person is getting laid tonight.
Okay, but that sounds awesome. So we should have that.
Sound awesome. I'm actually pro cameras and vending machines now.
Well, happy to see Waterloo's on the news for technological advancements.
Yeah, they're making it. This is where all their innovation goes, ladies and gentlemen. The vending machine, this is what's keeping the GDP going up by 0.1%, is vending machine facial recognition.
Okay, everybody.
Yeah, we're out of here. It's been like 3 hours.
Alright, I'll see you guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.